I got my American Psycho shirt on, Christian Bale, because honestly, he's a great representation for what I'm going to be talking about today. I am perfect. A phrase that I'm pretty sure everyone has either heard or said. And my generation encapsulates this perfectly. And it's honestly one of the ways that I start to dislike people, or at the very least, take what they say with a grain of salt. Now, truth be told, not a lot of people say I'm perfect. There's a stigma around that phrase. But the way people get around that is they'll start to say things like,
I am a 10.
But the problem is that at least when I think of someone who's a 10 out of 10, I tend to think of people who have accomplished so much in life to the point where the comprehension of it is not available to most people. It's not just someone who has above average looks or a slightly unique skill. It's someone of great admiration. Someone who's changed the way we look at certain things or has even changed aspects of life. You could talk about the philosophers that have changed the way we think, all the way to entertainers who have changed the way that art is viewed. But at this point, I start to seem a little cynical. It's like, hey, are you trying to just like destroy people's confidence? So what if people think that they're perfect? What's wrong with people having confidence? Some people may even ask. But the people that already think that they're 10 out of 10s are just gonna ignore this video anyways. Look at it, watch about 5 seconds in, and then just think to themselves, oh, no, that doesn't apply to me. Skip on to the next video. Because what people have nowadays is not confidence, it's entitlement. 10 out of 10 would be someone as thrilling as Daniel Day-Lewis, or as brilliant and wise as a Theodore Roosevelt. A guy or girl working at Target or Kroger who goes on their 15-minute break just to talk about how amazing and badass they are is not admirable because you haven't shown a trait that is admirable. All that person has shown is that they know how to talk shit to a camera. Now, is there a way that you can utilize this if you do have this trait? Sure, you could say to yourself, I set myself to this standard and therefore I'm going to develop the traits of an admirable person. That could include good habits, creating the right mindset. It could be building honor through going through hardships or different sets of experiences. You could say that this is your motivation to become better. But the problem is the way that it's viewed on social media, it's not being used as a way to further discipline yourself into developing that mindset or those good habits or going through those hardships. Those people who tend to say these things have what I like to call narcissistic positivity. Maybe this word has an entirely different definition than the one I'm about to give, or maybe this definition actually has a word for it. But this is my video, so this is the description that I'm going to give. Narcissistic positivity is when someone uses positive, genuine thoughts in order to justify the narcissistic idea of not having to change. So imagine this scenario. Let's say for some magical reason, no freaking wizard comes down and grants you the ability to be perfect at basketball. When I say perfect, I'm not even talking like Michael Jordan or LeBron James level. I'm talking perfect at basketball. You make every shot, you cross up everyone on the court, you're faster than everyone on the court, you can dunk on anyone, it doesn't matter if they're a foot taller than you. And the best part is you don't have to practice at all, because it's not like you have to practice to stay this good, it's just this magical feeling of being able to be better than everyone at basketball. Now, this doesn't seem to have that much harm, you know, maybe you talk a little bit of crap on the basketball court, but for the most part in this assumed fantasy, it assumes that you live a pretty average life outside of everything else. Now the problem is, take these thoughts, make them imaginary, and apply them to the improvement in people's lives. That's where you start to see things get messed up. Imagine now that you weren't really that good at basketball, but you had 2 good games, so therefore that gave you the idea that you were perfect at it. Why do you think so many people fail at the bad habits that they try to stop? People try every day to stop smoking cigarettes or weed, to stop drinking alcohol, to stop being jealous, to stop letting things get under their skin, to stop watching TikTok, to stop watching porn, to stop staying in bed all day, to stop being a lazy person, to stop being embroiled in useless drama, to stop being nervous around the opposite gender, to stop putting off work, to stop hooking up randomly, to stop talking to toxic friends, to stop spending money on worthless crap, to stop spending every day just watching endless amounts of TV. In general, they keep saying that they're gonna stop doing the things that are gonna make them weaker, but they never stop doing them. And you can literally apply this to all the good habits as well. People every day try to go to the gym more, to meditate, to journal, to eat healthier, to be a better partner in their relationships, to spend more time with their family, about starting a creative hobby, about breaking outside their comfort zone, about doing more adventurous things, about retiring their family in the future, about being more religious intelligent. Moreover, doing the things that they know know are gonna help them out in the long run. The reason we fail all of these habits of either stopping the bad ones or starting the good ones is in part due to narcissistic positivity. Because your mind subconsciously thinks, well, if we're perfect already, if we already think that we're a 10, then why do we need to change any of our habits? If anything, we should continue these habits because we are already perfect. In short, you are going to have to drop your ego, because without dropping your ego, that's how you make no headway into your goals or tasks. You have to have this thought telling you you have to do better. Saying, I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna get damn close to it. But the greatest thing about narcissistic positivity is that it justifies laziness. Why aren't you going to the gym? Maybe in 5 months when I just go for my semi-annual session. Why aren't you eating more healthy? Why don't you start getting healthier groceries? Maybe I'll do it at the beginning of the year when I do it for that 1 week, but by the time February rolls around, I'm back to eating cake and ice cream and Cheetos and drinking tons of soda. To change your life positively, any higher up person's going to say, drop your ego at the door and let's start taking accountability. Now look, once you've gotten to the actual Joe Rogan level or the Bruce Lee level or the Meryl Streep level, then you can start to say, I'm better than a lot of people. But here's the thing, I guarantee you those people never want to settle. They constantly want to strive for bigger and better things because ambition is something that is hard to obtain. It's like a virus. Once it's in your mind, it never leaves. But unlike a virus, it has a positive effect on your life. Stop talking about the hustling you're doing on Instagram and just do the work, because the status of being someone respectable is earned, not given freely. Now look, I know most people start to have a very hard time at this point in the video because it just seems like a huge call out video. But you do have one of two options. It's not like you're entirely screwed here. You can ignore this video and go on thinking that you're perfect and that everyone around you is perfect and that I'm just a hater and that I'm cynical. Or you can take accountability of your life and start the road to self-improving. Because accountability, and I know people get annoyed of me bringing it up in every video, but it's honestly the single most important trait that a lot of people still lack to this day. Because even now, you're not taking accountability. The majority of people just want to say, yeah, I'm totally taking accountability. He's not talking to me, as you're curled up in a blanket when you know you should be doing work. Accountability is the thing that helps you change. Once I accepted that I was not how I wanted to look, I was able to start implementing change of going to the gym. Once I understood that I did not understand concepts the way I should have, I was able to say, okay, now I want to learn more about philosophy. You can be someone that people look at as a smart person. Your ego is going to be the #1 thing getting in the way of you taking accountability. But you're going to have to want to change. You have to be willing to realize that you're not perfect, but that's okay. You could begin today by starting to take accountability.